Boker Tov, good morning. Today is Friday, July 28th, Erev Shabbat Bet Hanan, Erev Shabbat Nachamu. This is one of the Shabbatot which carries its name from the Haftarah, which is read on it. And it ushers in a series of Haftarot that take us from Tisha B'Av, which is just concluded, through until Rosh Hashanah. And these seven haftarot are referred to, and the Shabbatot themselves are referred to the Shiva de Nechemta, the seven haftarot of consolation, because those are the themes. If leading up to Tisha B'Av, the haftarot were dire warnings and chastising of the people to learn the lessons which have not yet been learned, these are here to have God's comfort. The comfort come to us as God's people after the destruction. What's noted in some midrashic literature, the Machzor Vitri in one way, and the midrash that the Abudraham quotes, is that there's a sort of a flow from these one haftarot to the other. They're not just thrown in here in some haphazard way, but there is meant to be read as we understand them, a movement from one to the other. The Machzor Vitri suggests that it has to do with the ability that we have to receive comfort, that it has to start slowly, and then until we're ready to hear certain messages of hope that can happen. You can't hear them right away, and so that's sort of how he understands the flow. The midrash quoted in the Abudraham is a little different, and it notes that a distinction, let's say, between this haftarah and the haftarah that will be read on Parshat Shoftim. This haftarah opens with the words Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. In Parshat Shoftim, we read Anochi, Anochi Hu Menachemchem, meaning that the haftarah here is God's call to the prophets. Prophets, I want you to console my people. And as some have read it, the people say, I don't want the words from the prophet. I don't want to hear from the prophet. I want to hear from you, God. So God finally does speak up. Or in a different way to look at it, if there is a recognition, or I would suggest, that there is an understanding that we humans are there to provide comfort. And that's what we do. We come, let's say, when someone's in personal mourning, and we sit with them, and we're there just to provide them comfort. I will tell you, and I try to reiterate as the halacha lays it out for us, you do so by being a loving presence and a compassionate listener, not with pithy philosophy, unless someone's seeking to have understanding and you can share it that way. But the way we give comfort is just by hugging and physical presence. That's a key point in all of the roles of bereavement and the roles that an individual can play. And yet there's this ultimate understanding that Nachama, comfort, ultimately comes from God. If grief is a place where one's heart and one's soul are in distress, then we hope that it will be, we turn to God to help us carry that distress. Ultimately, it's God who will help us cope with that distress and heartache and grief and remove it from us. That's a gift that God can give us to otherwise not be where we otherwise might be overwhelmed by grief that we have. But it's also an awareness, indeed, that it's going to have to take a partnership, not only of the humans who are here, but God Himself. And at the same time, for the humans that are here and seek to provide comfort, whether it's a national mourning, even in the moments that we find ourselves now, and we are trying to both there's mobilization and there's comforting that happens, to know that we are really serving as vehicles. We are serving as vehicles when we show up for someone who is grieving. We're serving as a vehicle and a channel for the very comfort that comes from on high. May we feel this Nachama, starting this Shabbat, and all the way through Rosh Hashanah, to feel the comfort that God wants to extend to us, and at the same time re-energize ourselves towards the better world that we hope to make for ourselves, for our people, and the planet as well. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Be comforted, O comfort, my people.